Hey, this is Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to beginning HTML5. This is the first video that I tried using Shadow Play in desktop mode, so it should be pretty sweet looking. 1080p, 60 frames per second. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be talking about adding video and audio to your website. And this is going to be the last one before we jump into CSS and do and then the next time we do HTML would be to make full sites that we could do our full pages that we could do our Castaigne style sheet on. Alright, so here I have the stock stuff that came with Dreamweaver here once I opened it. So what we're going to do is we're mainly going to be messing around with stuff inside of the head. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is how to add a Flash movie to your website. Now this is not, of course, actually going to work because I don't have the particular the script here, so it's not going to work when I emulate it. But I'll show you guys some of the things that you need. So here I'm typing in the stuff. So this is what it would look like. We're going to say blah blah blah.js. That path doesn't really matter. When we do a full website, of course, it's going to have all the stuff that you need properly in there. But right now, it's not going to. Making sure I got everything good there, yep. Alright, so this should be good here. You see we're closing the script here. Closing the script here. Alright, so let's go ahead and indent these out. Flash bird.swift, so I'm missing a piece right there. There we go. Now it's exactly what we want. Okay, so now let me explain what all this stuff is. Okay, so the first script here is the location of the Swift file that's written in JavaScript, right? It's typed JavaScript, and the source, src. The source is this web page here, and that's the script, so that's the location, and the script type is text JavaScript here, so we're declaring it's JavaScript Swift object.embedded.swift flash bird.swift bird 400 300 etc etc. So basically the second part is the place where it should replace that with what you're throwing there. So that's this guy here. Actually, I'm missing one portion. Let's go ahead and show you guys that. Okay, so that would be here. So, as you see here, what we got is you see here the IDs match, because we went over IDs right here. So here's the ID that matches. So what it's going to do is it's going to take this script and shove it inside this body piece here. But you're not, of course, going to see anything here. No syntax errors. Okay. Yeah. So basically what it's doing is it's taking this guy and shoving it in here. So we're saying wherever it says bird, the ID bird, we want it in there. So there's the name of the Swift file. This is the width. This is the height. And this is the minimum version of Flash Player needed to play the actual video, which in this case it's a Flash Player 8. All right, let's go ahead and jump into an actual Flash video. So of course we'll when we do full sites, we'll have this stuff. We'll learn how to embed YouTube videos, and also same thing as this. We'll have real stuff that we could use to work with. I'm also going to do Swift tutorials later on in LegitTechTutorials. Alright, I'm not Swift, sorry, to do Flash. Alright, so now we're going back. This is exactly the same. And then we're going to go back in. We're going to do the source. Okay. HTTP whatever.com, doesn't really matter, but it's going to be .js, and this is the location of the script, so it's not going to be of course .com. It's going to be the location inside your server. Okay, there's a closure. There's a closure of the script. I'm going to start the other script again. I forgot to close this arrow. What the heck is going on? Okay, there we go. All right. So here we have a script, again, same type. Source is, sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, is text JavaScript. So it's of type JavaScript, which I'll also have a series of later. And we're going to go ahead and close that there. And then we're going to go over some of the parameters. So these guys are the brackets, curly braces, otherwise known as curly braces. And if you notice here, this is definitely not HTML. This is actually JavaScript. I could tell from just looking at it. That's why it's got these curly braces, because the curly braces are ending a block. And these parentheses are what are declaring a parameter. So that's why I try. You guys shouldn't worry too much about this portion, as you will learn it in what all this stuff is inside the JavaScript tutorial, which I will have. When am I gonna have it? Sometime next month. Okay, so let's figure out what's going on here, what we have a problem with. So it's supposed to be here. Var params, movie, cool. // view puppy FLV. This is actually supposed to be a curly brace opening that direction. Yeah, so that's basically close enough. Yeah, so I mean that's close enough. It says we had a syntax error, but you know, you get the idea. So here, the only thing we're going to change down here is we're going to embed snow here, because that's what we have here. It's the exact same thing, width, height, version of Flash Player. Here's the ID for the division where it's going to show up. Here's the name of the actual video. All right. So that's going to use this particular player, the OS player, as you see here. So that's going to use that player, Swift player, to play that particular thing. All right, so now we're going to go over HTML5 videos. So let's go ahead and nuke everything that's in here. And we're going to go ahead and open this guy up instead. Okay. So, very simple. It's got a video. It's got a video tag. And here we're declaring what the file name is and where the source is. And here's the poster, which is usually if you go onto YouTube and you see like just the thing before you click it, before you start buffering the video, it has that snapshot, the thumbnail, usually what it's called, custom thumbnail. So that's declaring the thumbnail, and it's a custom thumbnail at that URL, and it's of type JPEG. Sorry that I'm making so many mistakes here. It's freaking hot over here right now, really hot. And this here you see is using no JavaScript. So, and then here is description of video. So now if I actually had this video on file in that location, it would load it. And you see there it's trying to load it in HTML5. But it can't actually find the video. So, I mean, at least here it's showing us a little bit of what's going on. Alright, so here are some attributes that we could put in here. So that preload, this attribute tells the browser what to do when the page loads. It could have one of three values. It could have none. The browser should not load the video until the user presses play. Auto, the browser should download the video when the page loads. Metadata, the browser should just collect information such as the size, first frame, track list, and duration. Alright, the video, so the source determines where it is. The poster is while the video is downloading, so it's the thumbnail, the width and the height, and the controls, if you want the controls there. So you obviously do want the controls there, and you see that we have actually, I don't know why I did that. That's not correct. It's supposed to be like that. There we go. Now you see the controls. So there we go. There's the controls. And autoplay, when used, this attribute specifies that the file should play automatically. Loop, when used, this attribute indicates that the video should start playing again once it has ended. And of course here it's not going to work because no video is loaded. But like I said, when we get around to using it again, we will modify it and make it to where we actually have some stuff. Alright, so now we're gonna add a second source file, so we have multiple sources to this one video player. Alright, so first we have the puppy here, the video source. Ooh. Just saw that. Alright, so video source. So here we're gonna get rid of the source so we can load multiple sources. Oops. And we're just gonna have poster there. And then let's go ahead and pull some of this stuff so we could get a little bit better spacing. Preload, control, and loop. Oopsies. Okay, so that's the end of there, and now we're just going to add 2 source attributes. So now we're specifying the codex that's going to use. It's going to use AVC1.42E01E. MP4A, MP4 audio. Oops. Alright, so let me make sure that I got that all copied down. And I forgot the bracket here. Of course, since it's an element, it starts with the bracket. Source, video puppy.mp4. Type, video. Also, of course, after type, you have to have the equal sign. This is not right there. That's supposed to be a semicolon. And then since it's taking so long to type everything in, I'm going to go ahead and copy these sections and copy it again. So now all we're going to do is change just the type of file here. So type video web. Type video is WebM. The codex is different. It is VP8, and the audio is a Vorbis. All right, so now we have the possibility of running 2 different types of files. So if for whatever reason their browser cannot play MP4 because it's missing the codec on their computer, then it will play the WebM automatically for them. So now let's go ahead and jump in and see what we got. So that's what we got there. No poster. That's why that is blank, because it stops right there. It cuts out right there. All right. So a couple things in there. Of course, the codex is what you're using to encode the video, and what they need to decode the video in order to watch it. So, like I said, you could use 2 different types. To watch it, and you could also do Flash and HTML5 as well, just to make sure that all your users have a possibility of watching it. Alright, so now we're just going to go over Flash MP3, so you can play audio on your site. So let's go ahead and go all the way back, Control Z like crazy. Let me see. Until we get back to where we had JavaScript there. There we go. So that's all the way back to where we have JavaScript, and we're going to extend on JavaScript because we're using Flash. So script type JavaScript source is going to be the same thing, whatever. And then we have the location, so that's the location. And then we're ending the script there. And then we're jumping in. Okay, Flash. Okay, so it's the same thing. So now we're going into the JavaScript. Here we're declaring the variables. Params. Okay, so this is where it's different. Okay, so this guy's going to be MP3 : parenthesis So this is going to be audio. Audio. And then it's going to be very similar here. MP3. Except for you're going to, of course, keep the file type consistent. Swift object.embed SWF flash player flash, and then this guy's going to be just player. .swf, and then here we're going to name it, and the name that they're using is music player. Go with a dash like that, and this is going to be 200 by 20 because you want it long, but you don't need it tall because there's no video, so that's why they're doing 200 by 20. It's going to be 8.0 flash, bars, and paramps. Alright. Here we're going to need to change the ID down here to music player. So it's going to plop that music player in there. It should. But of course, like I said, there's nothing actually really there. So everything here though looks good, so it would work normally. Yeah, everything should be working well. Just checking my work here. Yeah, so everything's good there, and like I said, when we have some actual stuff to work with, then we will be able to get this very quickly. Alright, so let's go ahead and delete that. Now we're going to do HTML5 audio. And HTML5 audio, as you notice, is way easier to put on your website than it is to do a Flash. And people don't use Flash too much anymore. But you see here that we are having... and also it worked natively. As you saw, the other one didn't pop up, and this one's going to pop up if I label the tag correctly. There we go. So now it pops up automatically, and of course you don't actually need this division down here. But, so, yeah. And then, so that's the audio. Very, very quick, very easy. You show where the audio file is and set it up. Tell it you want the controls and you want it to autoplay, or you can get rid of the autoplay and just have the controls. And same exact thing that you got the loop, preload, autoplay, controls, and source. Finally, we have adding multiple sources, so let's go ahead and go over that. Very, very easy, so you just get rid of the source in here. You just have controls autoplay, and we're going to push down past that. And we're going to just do some source tags. Oops. So now we have two different sources. So if the OGG does not work, we have the MP3 as well, the source. And actually, I forgot to close the audio. That's why it's bitching at me. So there's closing the audio. Yeah. So we're good to go on that. So yeah. So if we did actually have the audio there, it would be working. All right. So yeah. So next, I guess we'll do a quick test on this. Next video, and I'll load. We'll just do HTML5 probably, HTML5 audio and video, and I'll have a video saved, get it working, and then shoot the video for you guys so we could do some real and check it out and see how good it is, how good it plays embedded on the website, embedded on the test page here, because you see HTML5 works perfectly inside Dreamweaver. Alright, so this has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials. I thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series and other series as well. If you have any questions, email me. The URL to Amazon, to the book, using the book that I'm using as a reference for this series. Go check the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and take it easy. Peace.